8:52 here in Mornings with Dan and Mike. There has been a technical revolution in the delivery of information and entertainment to your PC, and in particular to your television set. And I don't have to tell anybody that.
And
I'm
all your peripherals.
And all your peripherals. Cable companies are in a panic, trying to adapt to the cable box is on its way out. I mean, I think Comcast just made a deal with a number of TV companies just to literally put their boxes, their digital stuff
really
on
amazing.
the TV sets.
Exactly. And not too long ago, I remember wandering through Blockbuster, looking at miles and miles of videos, how much has changed and how much continues to evolve in that industry.
Literally, all you need today is an internet connection. And the world, as they say, is your oyster. Through a number of platforms, scores of channels, free and fee-based, available on systems like Roku, Amazon Fire, also YouTube, of course, Apple TV, and one of those emerging channels with full disclosure I'm involved in is called The Film Detective, presenting HD quality, digitally restored, remastered classic film. You should see these movies. Unbelievable what these engineers have been able to accomplish with these movies. They are better than actually they were when they were first shown in the theaters.
That's amazing.
It's just incredible what they get from sometimes these old scratched up and poppy clips, and yet it's unbelievable. They come out absolutely pristine. It's really incredible. Here to talk about it, we're going to be doing something at the Cabot, too. I want to make sure that people understand what we're doing there as well. Here to talk about that, Don Stradley. Don is the editorial consultant for The Film Detective, and he knows a lot more about it than I do. Good morning, Don. How are you this morning?
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan.
What is an editorial consultant for this? I'm not sure what that is exactly.
I am the editorial consultant.
Yes, you
Sounds
are.
really great.
Yeah, I do all the yelling and the selling.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You get to wear the loud T-shirts? Is that the idea?
Well, when they need someone to record an introduction for a movie or things like that, I write the copy. When we sell our DVDs, we have a vast collection of DVDs that we're selling too, and Blu-rays. There's always that fascinating copy on the back of the box, and your editorial consultant writes that stuff.
Why would you be called a writer? Why would you be called an editorial consultant?
Sounds nicer.
Oh, I see. Okay.
There are writers everywhere.
You would rather be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, explain what's going on with The Film Detective, actually, because these are literally hundreds of classic film that have been remastered that were now going to be available for free on a number of these platforms. And when is that going to happen?
Well, it should be happening in the next few weeks. We're supposed to be going on Roku TV and Apple TV. If you're not familiar with that way of watching movies, it's really a great way. It took me a while to get used to it, but with a Roku TV or Apple, you turn on your set, you get a menu of channels that you can download or not. You can sample them and then get rid of them. And
just with an internet connection, you don't need an antenna system of any kind whatsoever. You just need an internet connection.
Yeah. It's online television. And it's really fun. Like I said, it took me a while, but now I'm really fascinated by it.
You said free. Can we revisit that? How is it free? I like the sounds of it.
A lot of the movie apps are free. Some of them have a very light fee, like Netflix, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a small fee.
Yeah, but we're not on Netflix. The Film Detective is
Right. Film Detective.
We're on the free ones.
Right.
Yeah.
The free ones are great.
Yeah.
But eventually, we can sell some advertising. Film Detective. It's a great way to watch movies, and
That
also,
would be nice.
Yeah, sure.
We do that eventually,
sure.
yeah. But it's important to note that, even though if you're going to sell some advertising on it, that advertising would more than likely than not break up the movie. It would be at the head of the movie, at the tail of the movie, or somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah,
there
hopefully.
wouldn't be any breaks in the movie.
Right.
When I first started presenting movies on television, we broke movies every 5 to 7 minutes.
Wow. No continuity there.
And we would slash sometimes. We would slash 15, 16, 17 minutes out of the movie. I mean, we literally took these 16-millimeter prints and butchered them. They would come in these movies, and we'd have them up on, on the reels. We had 4 or 5, actually. At TV 38, we had 4 or 5 film editors. And all they did all day long was edit these movies. Chop these movies, literally, for commercials. And that's where the genesis of Movie Loft came from, the fact that I suggested we stop breaking these movies up, and instead we cluster the commercials. We put the commercials in a group, and then we started breaking the movie. You have to pay for it somehow. But we would break the movie up only every 15 or 20 minutes. We got to that point. We only had 2 breaks in Movie Loft there for a long while. and that we were clustering most of the commercials. So, I mean, it was survival on television at the time because HBO was just coming on at that time. There were other channels that were being developed that were showing movies unedited and commercial-free, for a fee. But nevertheless, you had to compete with that as a commercial station that was still running movies. And so that's why we came up with the whole movie loft concept. But we gave you something, hopefully people appreciated, a little extra by talking about the movies as well. And so that's kind of the whole genesis behind it. But it's hard to imagine. You know, people forget the fact that we were breaking these movies up every 5 to 7 minutes for commercials.
Well, you know, some of the movie apps, I won't mention their names, but they're doing that.
You have to explain what a movie app is, actually, to people out there who may not understand what a movie app is. Explain what a movie app is.
Well, it's just a word for the channel. You can download it. You get a menu at the on the TV screen. You get a menu with all the different channels listed that you can choose from.
Right. That's if you have a Roku TV or if you have a smart TV.
Right.
And they do a Roku TV.
Right.
You have a smart TV, you look and you see in the bottom and you see where it says there were Netflix logos, there were Roku,
Sure.
all the Roku, YouTube, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Are the apps that you're calling about.
Right.
So that when you click on those, some of those do offer commercials in their programming, right?
Some of them are free and they include some commercials. If you pay for them, you get to see the movie without commercials.
Right.
Yeah. But the best thing about it is that as you're going through your smart TV channels, you're seeing movies there that you've forgotten about, movies that you haven't seen in years.
Right.
And movies that didn't get to play in your local cinema, not because they were bad, but because nowadays it's all comic book movies.
They got lost.
Yeah.
And a lot of these movies are in black and white, and you have certain people that have certain prejudices against black and white movies.
Sure.
Some of the people are very close to me, in fact, who don't really particularly...
No, it's just a realm I'm not in yet. Really, that I haven't...
Well, wait a minute now. You say a realm you're not in yet. It's not as if you haven't been encouraged.
I guess you would call it a prejudice because
It's
I just
not a
haven't.
fourth dimension.
I know.
Welcome to the realm of black and white.
Yeah. I mean, listen, all I have not done is literally, I bought you the DVDs of all these classic films. All I haven't done literally is held your hand, put it in your DVD player, and sat you down and brought you a drink while you're, that's the only thing I haven't done.
I'm telling you, I'm getting caught up. I'll get caught up.
No, you're using them as a coaster, these DVDs that I've...
Are they coming to the Cabot, by the way, black and whites? Is that what you're doing? You got...
Well, we had a couple of announcements along with the Roku TV development. Yeah, we're going to have a monthly show at the Cabot in beautiful downtown Beverly. Starting next Wednesday, we're going to have a 1 o'clock and a 7 o'clock show. The movie is Kansas City Confidential.
Great movie, by the way.
Great old crime drama. What they call film noir. Back then, they didn't call it film noir.
We call it film noir now.
Yeah.
But,
Back then, it was just a drama.
yeah, it's a great movie, though. It's a terrific movie.
Oh, yeah. And then, it's going to be a great night.
You get to see this movie now, don't forget. You get to see this movie in pristine quality.
It's been remastered.
It's like HD quality.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We put out a Blu-ray of it a few months back, and it was critically acclaimed by bloggers and people on the internet who watch these old movies.
You not only get to see it that way, but you get to see it in a theater that was designed for movies like that.
It's a great place to see a movie.
Yeah.
And we
the new seats, too, Muggs.
That's exactly right, yeah.
One of those has got Muggs'
That's
name
going to
on
be
it.
my first experience of a black and white.
Well, you know what? There's a way to watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll get hooked on it.
And this project was originally aimed at senior citizens, but the doors are open to anybody who just likes to see a classic old movie, and the Cabot's a great place to see it.
Well, it was only aimed at senior citizens. It wasn't necessarily aimed at them, but it was because it was felt that this would be a nice thing to do. They're free. The movies are free. And it would be a nice thing to do for an afternoon. And
Yeah, I was going to say, what a smart thing to have a 1 o'clock showing, you say? There's a 1 o'clock, and what's the other time?
I think the Cabot asked for the evening showing.
Demand was so high.
Well, a lot of people said we can't make the 1 o'clock. A lot of people said, there were people who were not retired who said we would like to see this movie as well, or like to see some of these movies as well. So that's where we came up with the 7 o'clock screening as well. But that is, once again, it's going to happen on when? Next week, right?
Next Wednesday, 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock.
Next Wednesday, 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock, Kansas City Confidential, folks, at the Cabot. And again, the movie's free. You just kind of walk into the Cabot.
Maybe even a door prize.
And that's the 15th of June.
Maybe even a door prize. Now you're just teasing us, Don. Now you're just saying maybe even a door prize.
Maybe even a door prize.
Right.
That's what a consultant does.
We're
They
still
come up with
trying to
these things.
We're still trying to
throw 'em out
shake
there.
down the local business.
There's a shake down the local businesses to come up with a door prize.
Get some free linguiça.
There you go. So that's happening at the Cabot, folks. And tune in for the film Detective, which, as Don said, any day now you'll be able to see that on Roku or any of these apps, as he calls them, these TV apps. We call them like platforms or whatever we call them.
And also, what we're trying to do to make us a little different from all of the apps that are out there is we've enlisted the sonic stud himself, Dana Hersey, to do our introduction.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So his pipes will be utilized?
Because a lot of the people who work at the Film Detective, we loved the Movie Loft, and we thought, I originally wanted Leonard Nimoy.
But he died.
History got in the way of that one.
Yeah, exactly.
But
there's a long list before me, I think.
Orson Welles, I was looking into.
Orson Welles, yes.
Billy Crystal.
Well, he'd sing too much. But,
that's right. But they came up with me. And
Dana will be doing introductions, voiceover introductions. We're cutting some really nice trailers. One
of those, I understand, was picked up by the New York Times on their website.
Yep.
Apparently, one of those trailers.
Yeah, we've gotten some press from the New York Times. So it's not just going to be a movie. It's going to be there's an intro. We're hoping that our streaming channel will also have room for documentaries.
Even in his sleep with one eye closed, the D-Man's career continues to flourish.
We're very proud of this, though, because, as you know, I love movies, especially classic films as well. Right. I love the quality of these films. And, folks, it's going to be it's free on these apps right now. So what is wrong with that? And if you're a fan of classic film, you like the older movies, you're going to want to tune into the Film Detective on one of these apps.
Just one of the things. So this is really like cutting edge. I mean, you're at the forefront of this thing. Where do you see yourself 6 months to a year from now with, as you say, venturing out into these platforms with these restored films? And you are opening up a new audience. And you kid around about me, but, I think you really will. You'll find a whole new audience that maybe has not been familiar with the old great films.
And that's why we're utilizing people like Dana. And we're going to be more than movies.
Like one of the old guys like Dana we're using, yeah. Right.
Yeah, we're more than just movies. We're going to be educating people. We're going to be showing them movies that they've not heard of. We have such a vast collection.
Interesting.
The owner of the company has been, scouring the world for years, picking up obscure movies and classics. We have a huge library. So I think that will... 6 months from now, a year from now, it's just going to be getting bigger and bigger. Our channel is going to have more and more to choose from. It's going to be a real interesting thing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and it is, as you know, it's something new. It's great to be involved with it. And once again, don't forget, folks, the Cabot now. If you want to watch a great classic film in the manner in which it was designed to be watched originally, by the way, Kansas City Confidential, this great film noir movie, will be at the Cabot for free. Next Wednesday,
June 15th.
June 15th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. There'll be a little discussion there. I hope to be there, and maybe
you're supposed to be there at the 1 o'clock show,
yes.
Unless you bail out on us.
Yes.
And I'll be doing the 7 o'clock, the dinner show.
Really?
I'll be.
Really? You're going to be there for the dinner show?
I'll be doing the dinner show.
Okay.
So if you want to meet me, if you've been enchanted for the last 5 minutes, come on down and we'll continue this
real consultant looks like.
Just let me suggest, if you have not been enchanted, please go to see the movie anyway, would you? It is. Well, thanks for being here. 906. Don Stradley has been our guest here from the Film Detective, the editorial consultant. Also writes all the stuff that Dana reads on the program. 907, thanks for being here, Don.
My pleasure. Thank you.
This is Mornings with Dana Bugs here in North Shore, 104.9.